we're gonna start today's service off with a song. Janice, I'm gonna turn it over to you. You can sing it.
I want to welcome my family. We really appreciate you all coming today as a tribute to my dad, John Stein. If any of you don't know, I'm daughter number 2, but my dad loved music, and particularly classical music. But when we were growing up, he just thought all of us needed to play an instrument in the band, or we needed to sing in the choir. And when we lived on Wood Street, we had the piano in the basement. So I was down playing away, practicing one day, and he came down and sang with me, and we sang In the Garden. And so since then, every time I hear that song, it reminds me of my dad. And I think every time I say the word garden, if you plug in the word farm, it'll just be perfect for Dad. You can sing with me if you want. I come to the garden alone, while the dew is still on the roses, and the voice I hear falling on my ear, the Son of God discloses, and he walks with me, and he talks with me, and he tells me I am his own, and the joy we share as we tarry there, none other has ever known. I'd stay in the garden with him, though the night around me be falling, but he bids me go through a voice of woe. His voice to me is calling, and he walks with me, and he talks with me, and he tells me I am his own, and the joy we share as we tarry there, none other has ever known, and the joy we share as we tarry there, none other has ever known.
You know, the song talks about coming to the garden alone, and he's been there in his life. He's done that in his life. But you know, look at the things. John was in construction, but I want to read this obit because I just jumped right past it. John Edward Stump, 92 of Jonesboro, passed away Monday at the Ridgecrest Nursing Center. He was born in Humansville, Missouri to the late George and Dimple Stump. He was a member of the First Baptist Church here in Jonesboro. He owned Stump Construction Company and also founded Jonesboro Overhead Door. He enjoyed hunting and fishing. We'll talk about that a little later. That's kind of an understatement on the fishing part. But anyway, in addition to his parents, John was preceded in death by his sister, Georgine Bruner. Survivors include his wife of 70 years, Norma, John David of Jonesboro, soon to be Imboden, 4 daughters, Georgianne Lowry of Fort Smith, Janice and her husband David Clark of Black Rock, Gail and her husband Larry Yancey of Lakeway, Texas, and Laura and Ronnie White of Jonesboro. 13 grandchildren and 19 great-grandchildren. Now, you know, John was in the construction business. And with any good construction or the building of something, you have to have a solid foundation. John was that solid foundation. Because if you look, he left a wife, he left a daughter, he left 4 daughters, he left a son, he left 13 grandchildren, 19 great-grandchildren. That's the foundation that the Stump family is growing on. That's a legacy in itself, folks. That's a legacy. And he's done a whole lot of things. He built a lot of different schools and a lot of churches. So think about what his legacy and what he has done to promote education, both in academics and education in the biblical sense. He's built churches, he's built schools, he's built houses. Grandkids call him Pawpaw. And one of the things that John loved was family gatherings. And it was said, the more there, the merrier. And I said, well, was he the cook? And they said, no, he wasn't the cook. But the more, so I guess that fell on Norma. But the more people that were there, the happier he was. Now he has a farm at Imboden that he basically built, and that he would love to go there and have friends and family come up and go fishing. Fishing was his forte. Now, John also had a special love for his dogs. And one of his favorite dogs was Coo. He loved his yellow labs, but Coo is being laid to rest with John today. Now, if you notice the casket that we've got John in, how appropriate is it that it's made out of wood? Okay? This is solid oak. It's not, you know, it was quality, and everything John did and John built in his life was quality.
Amen.
In the Bible, it talks about building 206 times. So he was carrying on the Lord's work. He was a carpenter. It says in there, when you eat and are satisfied, and you build good houses and live in them. Sounds like to me, John did what the Lord called him to do. In the 23rd Psalm, it talks about the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. And if he was lying down beside the still waters, I'm sure John probably got up and fished in them for a while. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. And folks, that's where we're at today. We're in the valley of the shadow of death. I will fear no evil, for thou art